What's going on, guys? Nerdlocker.com here, and we have your weekly comic book reviews. I'm starting off with Justice League number 19. I love what we're building up to in this story. I know we got the Trinity War, and now we know that JLA and Justice League Dark are going to be involved. And someone has stolen something big from Batman, and I'm waiting to see how this plays in to this new society and how they're going to mess with the Justice League that's going to lead up to all this. And also, the Shazam backups are getting incredible. I cannot wait for this to just finish, because I want to see him part of the team already. But this is an awesome retelling of his origin, and I'm loving every minute of this book. I'm giving it 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
DC's got a new #1 this week with HeMan and the Masters of the Universe. I must admit that I don't know much about the character. I didn't watch the cartoon growing up, but it being a #1, I thought they might be able to catch me up, and they did. Keith Giffen is writing this title, and he's doing a fantastic job of it. The story revolves around a very interesting betrayal within the family, and I won't say too much, but it gets really interesting with the end, and they throw in a character that you did not see coming. The artwork's fantastic by Popman, so I'm going to give this book 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
This week I got to read Batwoman number 19, and I know it's no secret that I haven't been the biggest fan of this book recently, but this issue really surprised me, and it was great because normally I have a problem with comics when it's a lot of talking and dialogue and not enough action. And this one, there wasn't a lot of action, but I really liked the way that they portrayed relationships. They really got deep in this one, and I just felt like they were really real people. And the last page is amazing because they're bringing back one of my favorite characters who I thought I would never see again. So I'm definitely going to continue reading this. I'm giving this book 4.5 Nerd Skulls.
What's up, nerds? This week I got a chance to read Star Wars, Darth Vader and the Ninth Assassin. It was the issue 1 really great piece. I was really excited for this. I hadn't really heard much about it, but just the artwork and just the color, the style fits just completely into the Star Wars universe. It's really cool because you get to kind of see Darth Vader from like a third-person point of view. It's told through the father of one of these main characters who actually gets killed by Vader, and it's his story of as he's trying to build this team to actually get revenge on Vader for killing his son. So I'm really excited to see the next issue. We get this new cool assassin who he just calls himself the Ninth, and it'll be really cool to see where the book goes. I give this issue 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Check it out.
Next up, I got to read Superior Spider-Man number 8. This book has been getting better for me. I know I got a lot of trouble in the comments early on when I said I wasn't enjoying this. This book's kind of a step back from what we've been reading until we get to the end, and now I want to see how this is done, I guess. Big reveal dealing with Peter and how he's been basically living in Doc Ock's subconscious this whole time and kind of calling the shots, kind of pulling the strings with certain things. And something happens. I'm hoping that this next issue is really crazy and does something we haven't seen before. And I'm still wondering when we're going to get to see the Green Goblin, because that was awesome. Like I said, most of this issue is just not as crazy as I thought it was. It's cool to get to see Doc Ock in a hero's light for once, but still looks like he's going to be Doc Ock no matter what. Really looking forward to the next issue, but I'm going to give this one 3 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
5 Ghosts #2 came out this week. If you're not reading this title, you really should be. Image Comics decided to pick up this comic about basically a guy that can tap into the abilities from various people in literature, such as Sherlock Holmes, Dracula, and etc. The book is fantastic, though I want to say that, especially this #2. It really reads kind of like an Indiana Jones story. It's adventurous. It's kind of like a Doc Samson story too. A nice mix of the two. So I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls because it's just a new title that everyone should be reading because it's just too good. Check it out.
Hi everyone, this is Lucy over here at Nerdlocker, and today I got to read Wonder Woman number 19, The Fury. And on the cover it shows Wonder Woman doing a chokehold on Orion while she's making out with him on the inside cover. Today in this book I was kind of confused because I didn't get to read the previous stories. But from what I did see, she is out there with her little posse out there to protect this little baby that they decided to name Zeke. He has been foretold to kill all the gods and take over the throne. And in the meanwhile, you see Poseidon and his nephew trying to come up with a plot or a plan to take this baby. Anyway, I wasn't excited about the story. I mean, I love Wonder Woman. I grew up with her. I even got to dress up as her Halloween. But I'm kind of seeing where this story goes. So I give this book 2 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
What's up, guys? With this video, I'm reviewing TMNT, the origin story of Krang. It's a really cool character piece just on him as where he comes from and his relationship with his father. It was really interesting because when I first saw it, I wasn't really that excited to read it, but after I finished it, they definitely made me a believer. I can't wait for next week when they do the actual origin story of another TMNT villain. I'll definitely give this 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. If you're a fan of TMNT or you're looking to get your feet back into that universe and hype for Michael Bay's movie, definitely take a look at this comic book.
Alright guys, so I got to read Conan number 15 this week, and great book, still really consistent. It ends this story arc, The Woman on the Wall, and it's actually kind of like heartbreaking for a minute, and you're like, oh my god, I'm reading a Conan book and I like want to cry because he's so sad. Oh, this is terrible. But then it like, I'm not going to give anything away, but it doesn't end like that, so it's really cool, but it feels like it is, and the fact that it's a Conan book that's making me feel that way is the reason why I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls, because it's a great book.
Next up I have Chew 33. I love this book. I love this book so much. Tony Chu is out for vengeance. He wants revenge for the death of his sister, and he's getting it. And you have not seen Tony Chu like this entire book. He is just a badass now. He's going after, he knows exactly who to go after, I'll put it that way. And he's getting what he needs, and he does something crazy too at the end of this. This is awesome. I feel like this book might be coming to a close. I thought I heard that somewhere. I hope it isn't, because I love Chew. This is an awesome book. If you're not picking this up monthly, pick up the trades. I can't say enough good things about this book. It's 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey guys, I got to read My Little Pony number 6 this week, and I'm continuing to love this story. It really feels like you're reading an adaptation of the show. It's really great writing for getting the characters right and following the story. And what's really cool about it is that they can go a little bit darker than they can go on the show, because I don't know, I guess just seeing the images and not having them move isn't quite as scary, because we got some really cool like shadow creatures that were really fun to just read and see what they were doing. They gave all the characters nightmares, and it was really cool to see, especially Fluttershy, my favorite character, overcome her fears, because it's always something that almost seems like she wouldn't be able to do. So that was great. I love this book. I'm giving it 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey there nerds, Jim here with my comic review this week. I got to read Cable and X-Force number 7. I'm a huge Cable fan from back in the 90s. It was awesome. I loved reading the whole stories, and obviously when Deadpool was introduced, that was amazing. So I was interested to get back into this. I really was interested in this book specifically because Cyclops comes to visit his son. Man, I love this stuff. It's great. The only disappointment was they didn't show enough for me. Basically, they had pairings throughout the whole storyline. That was the one I really wanted to see. They teased me with it. Didn't show enough. They had a team up with Domino and Colossus. As we all know, Colossus turned himself in and Domino goes into the prison. It's a ruse, I won't give away too much. That team up was kind of cool because Colossus is like, you're ruining this for me, I turned it in, I'm trying to redeem myself, and she's like, shut up, I'm here to rescue you, not really. Really cool. But then again, that was very brief, so we move on to the next, and it's Domino and Boom Boom. Couldn't care less, not great. Mixed in through this is Dr. Nemesis and Forge. Not great. So overall, I liked the team-ups in the book that were good. The other ones that didn't interest me weren't great, so I'm going to give it a middle-of-the-road 3 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
I've got another number 1 for you with House of Gold and Bones. I think this book was heavily driven on its own undertones. There's really not a story. I think there's something that the author is trying to tell you with the artwork and everything without really being about anything. And I feel like it's probably the fears that have chased him throughout his own life. And how we're supposed to figure out what those fears are really confused me. So I'm going to give this book 2 out of 5 Nerd Skulls, but I'm going to read another one.
Alright guys, I got to read Adventure Time number 15 as well this week, and one really awesome thing about this, Magic Man gets his butt beat up by a bunch of princesses, and that was probably the greatest thing about this book. So 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls for that, and then I'm going to give it another 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls for the backup story, which was hilariously awesome. Featured Jake in a old-timey single prop engine plane form, which was ridiculously cool, and I don't know why they don't do that more. And the artwork was really awesome. It didn't fit that same style of, just regular panels. It was very fluid. Panels within like giant scenescapes and stuff like that. It was really, really awesome, and I hope more of that artist gets to be on the regular Adventure Time book, because I love that they change it and they experiment and they do a lot of crazy things with this particular book. It's the perfect medium for it. It's the perfect title and story and characters and everything for crazy comic book experimentation. I love it. 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls all around for this book, at least.
Next up, we got BPRD 106. We find out more history, and that's what I love about this book, is you just keep... There's so much tied into these stories, and so much going on with these characters that you didn't really think were too important to begin with, and now you see where things are going. Somebody is loose, it looks like, which is, I don't want to reveal that because I love this character. She's awesome, and I can't wait to see what happens next with her. But I'm going to keep reading this book. I'm giving this 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Let me know what you guys thought.
Next up, I'm reviewing Iron Man this week for Marvel, issue number 8 and the God Killer Saga. It's definitely a really cool issue. We still see Iron Man, or Tony Stark, I should say, pitted against this metallic giant monster. It's great to see him still have his dialogue in between the monster and himself, as it's man versus machine. It was kind of a little muddled. I wasn't really sure where the story's going. You got a really cool part where you get to see the interaction between his new AI for his Iron Man armor, Pepper Potts, interact with him, and some little funny moments. But in terms of story, I'm still not sure where the God Killer Saga is going to. I'm kind of just waiting for it to get to that part where he joins Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm hoping that's coming around the corner. I give this issue 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Check it out.
Right, guys, I got to read Age of Ultron number 6 this week as well. And it's kind of hitting the fan at this point in this book. Really awesome. Finally, kind of like splitting the story up. There's a past, there's a future. There's not really anything going on in the present, which is kind of cool. That's all up in the air because there's a whole bunch of dudes that are stuck in one spot that no one knows what's going on. And a lot of stuff goes down in this one particular issue. Some plans get dealt with. Some casualties are taken. Oh man, I want to know what happens with this story at the end of it. 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls by Michael Bendis. You are killing my brain right now.
Hey, Jasper here, and this is my review of Doctor Who Prisoner of Time issue 4. Now, the 4th Doctor and his companion Leela end up on a planet, Agratis, in search of the stolen jewel of Fontaine. Amidst the search, they end up tangling with the intergalactic police known as the Juden. And for you non-Doctor Who fans out there, they end up throwing a curveball on what the real basis for the Jewel of Fontaine is. For you Doctor Who fans out there, like, it's totally something in the whole realm, whether or not it's from the TV series or from the literature standpoints of the books or the comic books. But with that said, definitely you should check this book out. I give it a 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.